The Missouri Tigers just walked away with their first win of the 2024 men's basketball season here at home at Mizzou Arena, taking down the Howard Bison 77-62. Fascinating basketball game. Wasn't the prettiest by any means, but they improved to 1-1 on the season, which ultimately is the most important thing to walk away with. My name is Michael Stamps, one of your football and now basketball beat writers here from Missouri Tigers on SI. I am clearly exiting Mizzou Arena here in the later stages of the night, the witching hours here after the Tigers win. Here with a couple quick thoughts after the victory. Most importantly, it seemed as if the rotations were a little bit smoother and more consistent in today's matchup against Memphis. There was no rhyme or reason to who or what or when Dennis Gates was substituting towards the later stages of that game in the second half. It was confusing. Players who played well in the first half didn't play in the second half. It was a different story today. It seemed like everybody who needed to play was in. Ant Robinson was great. We'll get to him in a second. Aiden Shaw played well. Maybe it was puzzling to have Marcus Allen in at the end of the game at first. He scores 4 points, a couple big rebounds. He's known for his defense, his on-ball defense. Does well at that. So kind of erases any question marks we have with that decision. Anor Boateng gets the start. Maybe questionable given he didn't play in the first game at all. Scores a couple points, gets to the free throw line, plays strong physical defense. So some of those decisions that might have been questionable, not so much. The freshman proved people wrong. Let's get back to Ant Robinson because he was absolutely excellent today on both sides of the ball. The way he pushes the ball up the floor, his pace of play is so vital to this Missouri Tigers basketball team. We've seen a lot of Tony Perkins at point guard, and we've now seen a lot of Ant Robinson point guard. I'm not here to question any decisions on who's going to start at what point in the game, but Ant Robinson looked like a lead guard tonight. Not that Tony Perkins played bad, but Ant Robinson looked like a lead guard tonight, and that's going to have to be something they consider. He's younger, less experienced than Tony Perkins. Obviously, Perkins has, now 4 or 5 years of Power 5 basketball, but Robinson looked so smooth on offense, and defensively, he is such a disruptor. I couldn't find the deflection stat on the night, but incredibly impressive from everybody on the defensive end of the ball with the number of deflections they finished with. And the defense as a whole was so impressive. Like I said, deflections, getting into passing lanes, the on-ball defense, it didn't seem like they were beat off the ball a lot. They did allow 10 three-pointers made. Howard shot the lights out, and, there's not always everything you can do if a team's shooting the ball well. There were semi-open looks, some were open, some weren't. Kind of depended on the shot. Still, something you can live with as long as you walk away with the win. And it's not like they weren't trying to defend those. You couldn't go to the zone, which worked against Memphis because they were knocking those shots down. So that was one, limited defensive area there. Missouri did not shoot the ball well, 3 of 22 from the perimeter. They bounced back from the free throw line, 26 of 31. They got to the free throw line, which is important. But again, over 80% from the charity stripe. That's going to help you win games, especially when, shots are not going to the hoop. We're going to roll with one player of the game today as I conclude this video all by myself walking in the dark here. My player of the game is going to be Tamar Bates. Now, not the most surprising pick in the world by any means, but Bates hits the only three-pointers made in tonight's matchup against Howard. Leading scorer. Not much more you can ask from, arguably your best player. Great defensive intensity, great intensity on the offensive of the ball. Throws a nice lob to Aiden Shaw on a fast break. You don't win this game without Tamar Bates. He's proving now that he's the most vital part of this offense. They need to get him more looks. It was better today, but an overall great game for Bates. And not the prettiest game for the Missouri Tigers, but a win is a win. Missouri walks away with a 77-62 victory over the Howard Bison in their home opener. They're at home again on Monday, November 11th against Eastern Washington, and they're looked to claim their second win on the season.